Hello gorgeous people, this is David Lyon, founder of Evolving Man. So this video might be interesting to you if you sometimes feel like you're the most powerful person in the world, that you're super connected to yourself, that you see things super clearly, you're this incredibly advanced person who can really help others become more connected to themselves. And then sometimes you feel like the most traumatized, overwhelmed, disconnected little child that cannot even take care of itself. So if if you relate to that, and if sometimes you jump between one and the other pretty quickly, then welcome to the club. This is definitely something that I'm going through on a regular basis. And there are a couple of things that have helped me kind of put this into perspective more and feel more at ease with noticing these extremes so strongly within me. And those were actually two conversations that I had with a friend and with my mentor. And so one thing that my friend Simon said, which just made so much sense, was like, well, first of all, it's kind of a sign that you're really sensitive. Because when you're sensitive, you are going to be noticing more subtleties within yourself. And with that, you're also going to notice more opposites inside of you. You're going to notice more of these seemingly opposites, at least. Like, oh, in one moment I feel so extroverted and I feel so joyful when being with other people, and then in another moment I'm like, ugh, I don't want to be with people at all. And so it's going to be harder for you to kind of create a label for yourself, like, oh, I'm this, because you're going to be noticing more that the other side is in you as well. Okay, so that's number one. Like when this question comes up, like, which one am I, or like, why is this happening? It's like, well, you're a sensitive person, so you're noticing the opposites and the extremes more than probably most people, right? So it's harder for you to kind of shut that out and pretend like, oh no, I'm very normal. I don't feel overwhelmed, right? And so the second piece, and this actually comes from my mentor Gregor Steinmaurer, and it so helped me. He shared about this pattern of these two extremes. Like, whoa, sometimes I feel so incredibly powerful and so aligned, and there's so much energy coming through, and then I feel so disoriented and so confused. And what he shared was that this is also a mirror of our time, that we're living in times where these extremes are showing up in a way that I don't know if it has happened before in this so simultaneously and so powerfully, right? Like, we're living in a world where, I mean, so many things seem to be collapsing, seem to be falling apart, and at the same time, there's so much progress happening as well. There's so much innovation happening. There's so much creativity happening, right? So, and he said that the practice for him, and I so resonate with this, is, can I hold both at the same time? So both when I look at myself, can I see that I'm an incredibly capable, powerful, privileged, gifted person, and I'm a really wounded man. And I have things that I need to work through, and I have distortions in my perception, and I have blind spots, and all these things. Can I hold both at the same time, so that I don't jump so extremely from going like, only this, I'm only this like incredibly powerful man, and then I start flying, and at some point I crash, and then I'm like, oh, I'm just this overwhelmed little child. But also, when I look out into the world, this has been a practice for me. I'm surrounded by a lot of people who are seeing the collapse a lot, who are seeing the damage we're making on the environment, how messed up our society is, all the things that are going wrong. And I see that as well. But for me, there's a practice in not only seeing that, because then I'm not seeing the full picture. And it's tricky because we often look for the positive because we don't want to see the negative, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's just, if I only focus on the negative, I don't have the full picture. I'm not looking at everything. And so that's true for myself when I look at myself, but also when I look in the world. And it's challenging for our mind to hold both, because it's easier for the mind to be like, oh, the world is like this. The world is a shithole. Everything is going down. Nothing is going well. It's easier, right? Like the mind doesn't need to process everything that's coming in and kind of understand, oh, what does that mean? It's like, no, that's another sign that things are going really bad, right? It's easier. And yeah, so if you know that, this seeing the extremes, feeling the extremes inside of you, the practice is, whoa, can I stay present and open with both? It's a super challenging practice, and I think it's what we need in these times to find maybe a new kind of integration and a new kind of peace that doesn't exclude anything. So can I feel powerful even with my woundedness, even with my disconnection, even with my vulnerabilities, even with my blind spots? Or can I only feel powerful if I pretend that that's not there? Can I have hope in humanity even when I look at all the things that are going terrible, that, you know, are sometimes really tough to handle? And we don't need to overwhelm ourselves, right? Like this skill grows over time, but I think it's a very, very powerful practice. All right. Yeah, I'm very curious if you can relate to this, and what you do with that, or what makes this most challenging for you. So let me know in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you. And as always, with Evolving Man, you're seen, you're loved, you're appreciated. Keep evolving, and I shall talk to you very soon. Peace.